Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're at Southern Utah University. We're lucky enough to be talking to Stephen Allen, the Associate Vice President of the University for International Affairs. And he's going to just talk to us a little bit about SUU, what it means to be a student on campus, specifically for internationals. So please, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from, and what your role is at the university?
Yeah, hi Aaron, thanks for having me. I'm Stephen Allen. I serve as the Associate Vice President for International Affairs, and we have students from all over the world. We are up to 84 countries and 850 students. And so even though we're located in the western part of the United States, where we are smaller in size, we have tremendous diversity, a lot of different perspectives. And we find that having students from different backgrounds, different nationalities, creates a really rich learning environment.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves in having faculty who have office hours, who spend time with the student to mentor and guide, so that they are prepared for life after the university.
And you're mentioning this as it's a very small and close-knit community and a small university at that, but it's actually not that small. How many students do you actually have on campus?
On campus we have 10,000 students, and so it is a really vibrant campus with things that are happening all of the time to engage students.
And I can actually testify about that. We're here, we just arrived at Cedar City. Tomorrow is homecoming, it's the parade. Tonight they also have, what was it called tonight?
Forever Red.
Forever Red. It's a huge gathering with concerts, food, etc. So there's plenty of activity. You see a lot of movement on campus, things happening. So walk me through a little bit about what is SUU academically speaking. What are your strong points?
Yeah, our university is a public university that was founded over 125 years ago. 1897 we were founded, and we are a fully accredited university that has wonderful programs, a lot of programs. I can't mention them all, but the School of Business, our College of Performing and Visual Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences. We have a wonderful program in mathematics, computer science, and engineering.
And all of that surrounded by beautiful nature. You said something about 360 blue days, sunny days a year. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. It's a great place to be because the sun is always shining and students are out and about.
Sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of our students, whenever they're looking to study at a university, they're looking at California, they're looking at Florida, they're looking at, very, I'd say, warm and sunny states. What could you say about Utah, specifically Cedar City, that might convince or persuade somebody to rethink their perception of the states?
Yeah, the southern Utah is fabulous. We have all four seasons, and so we are home to the world's greatest snow. And if you want to learn how to ski, or you know how to ski or snowboard, you have that within 30 minutes up the mountain. But the weather is mild, and so when it does snow, it melts quickly. And so we have beautiful fall, spring, and summers. And winter, you'll see the white stuff, and it's just long enough that you can enjoy it, and then move right back into spring.
And if I could ask, what is the biggest highlight whenever an international student arrives on campus? What is the common sentiment that they have, or that aha moment once they make it physically to the campus? What do they typically highlight?
Yeah, they highlight a couple things. One, we go to the airport to pick up our students. We don't want any student to arrive in the United States and feel alone or scared or vulnerable. And so we pick up our students, and they always comment at how much we care about their success through the big and small things. But the other thing that they comment on is how friendly the campus is. Students are very social, welcoming, and warm, and that goes for our faculty as well. Our faculty want to get to know students, and so I always encourage our students to go to the faculty offices. They have office hours. It's a walk-in type format, and our faculty want to help and be available.
And not just the faculty, but also the campus. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful, green, lush campus. Let's take a walk. Let's figure out what other buildings are attractive, what other locations might you consider to just highlight SUU. Shall we go?
Let's go.
All right. So after a just 5-minute walk, if so, we're here at a new location, surrounded by different buildings. Please tell us, Stephen, what buildings are around us?
We have our College of Education, which is here. We have our Department of Geosciences.
Okay.
And then we have our health center where students can see a doctor or get mental health counseling.
And that's just free for every student, right?
It's free for every student, yes.
Okay. So I guess what you're telling me is, on a campus setting such as this one, programs interact, students interact, you're walking around, you're crossing each other's paths, you're not running around the city to go from one building to the other, correct?
Yeah, it's like a one-stop shop. And you've seen this today, Aaron, where we just run into students naturally or faculty and staff. It's there's a real sense of community.
And I guess doing that or having that experience, how does that elevate one's just natural experience of the university?
Yeah, things happen organically a lot of the times. Because of the proximity, you might be eating in the cafeteria and you see a professor. And it's a natural way to just have a conversation with a professor or a roommate or someone in your residence halls.
And I guess, the multidisciplinary factor in that, right? It allows you to meet students from different buildings, from different departments, from different areas of study that perhaps might even sound appealing, that might lead you into a classroom or the other. So let's talk very quickly about the flexibility that you as SUU facilitate the student to enjoy.
Yeah, we really want students to find a program of study that they're passionate about. And it is not unusual if a student finds that they love marketing or they love communication or engineering, they have the flexibility to change their major. But also in the educational system, we are trying to provide depth in their particular study, but we also provide courses that provide breadth. We want our students to leave having a really well-rounded education.
And you and I were talking before, and you mentioned that that's your magical T, right?
Yeah.
Can you maybe exemplify that for us?
I sure can. So we are the Thunderbirds. That is our mascot. And so Thunderbirds start with the letter T.
Yep.
And if you are a accounting major, you're going to get a lot of depth, illustrated by this vertical line or hand. And then horizontally, you see the top of the T, which represents general education or classes that are outside of accounting or whatever your program of study is. And so we call that the T, where you get a really great education, where you know how to write, have a good understanding of mathematics, sciences, astronomy, any number of things, music and the arts.
And a lot of students, specifically in Europe, they might look at that and say, well, that's a waste of time. I don't really want to study. That's not my passion, right? My passion is, as you mentioned in this example, accounting. I want to stick with all my accounting classes. What would you say to maybe deviate that student into just thinking differently?
Yeah, I think whenever we can learn different points of view or different subjects, we look at the world in a little bit different way. Our context has changed. And so whether it's music or theater, you just have a different perspective in how you view accounting.
And it could also help with employment, for sure. I mean, right now in today's society, we're constantly seeing jobs entering different areas, right? For example, mathematical world, a lot of these graduates are going into computer science, they're going into computing. And that might be seen as a failure maybe 20 years ago, but today it's a sign of success.
Absolutely. One of the things that we're trying to do is to help our students be lifelong learners. And when you go into a career, it's going to be different 5-10 years from now.
For sure.
And so we want our students to have an education that allows them to adapt to a changing world. And the other thing I think that American higher education does fairly well is we develop the whole student. We are trying to develop skills that will last a lifetime, leadership skills, soft skills such as working as a team, interpersonal skills, being healthy from a mental health and an emotional point of view. And we want to have all of these skills and all of these items to be developed in our graduates.
And it's something that's not easy to do, right? Can you tell us maybe some of the struggles that you faced throughout these 20 years of your experience and how you've changed that to improve it?
Yeah, I have been in higher education 25 years, 20 here at Southern Utah University, and the world has gotten more complex. But we try to always have learning outcomes in everything that we do, whether it is an activity or a club or an organization. We are always trying to identify what are the things that we want our students to learn.
Yeah.
And so we use a lot of data to make sure that the things that we are doing are effective.
And part of that data, I'm going to take a leap here, because we are right in front of the geoscience building. Part of that data might not even come from the university. You might use data elsewhere. And you and I were talking about how the classroom experience is very closely linked to the job market. In Utah specifically, you are surrounded by 5 big national parks. Tell me, how do the national parks play a role on SUU's campus?
Yeah, we're very proud of the millions of visitors that we get from around the world, and Southern Utah University is the official partner of the parks in Utah. And so, for instance, at Zion National Park, we have nursing students that intern as part of the staff at Zion National Park, where a lot of things come up, dehydration or any other variety of health issues. We also have students that are involved in biology and in other sciences where they are interning with park officials to help them be a better professional. I guess the other thing is national parks require people that are business majors and have a business background, or our outdoor recreation, or our hotel, resort, and hospitality management. So that's just one example of how we partner with the outside world to create those real-world learning experiences.
So anybody listening that is interested in nursing, in business, in parks and recreation, anything connected to this line of work, feel free to check out SUU's webpage, because you probably have all the information displayed just to get a better grasp of what's to come as a student.
We sure do.
Now, let's keep going and explore another building at SUU's beautiful and green campus. Come along. Now, we're at our final location at SUU talking to Stephen Allen, and I want you to tell us a little bit about this tower behind us, because I know it has a special place, not only historically speaking, but also academically speaking, for what students have to do traditionally speaking. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. We are in front of the Carter Carillon, and at Southern Utah University we have a ton of traditions. One of them is the Carter Carillon, and as students arrive at SUU, we have a big ceremony where the students walk under the bell tower heading to the east, which is symbolic to the sun rising on their experience at Southern Utah. And they don't walk under that bell tower until they graduate. And in their robes, they walk through it to the west, where it is symbolic of the sun setting on their time at SUU. And so it's a fun tradition.
What happens if somebody gets caught doing that?
Oh yeah, we have a very intricate system where there's a trap door, and they're lost forever.
Lost forever. They never come back. But you were also telling me something about the bells.
Yes.
It's not just going in or out of this tower. What about the bells?
Yeah, they ring at the top and bottom of every hour, and so you'll see students running when they hear the bells ringing because they know they're late for class. But we also, it's hooked to a keyboard, and so during holidays or during commencement, we will have music playing that reminds us of our time at SUU.
And where are these bells from specifically?
You'd be pleased to know that these bells are from Austria.
How does a bell from Austria end up in Utah at a campus? How did this happen?
Well, the Austrians make very good bells. Very good history of music in Austria. I'm not sure exactly why, but I know that they were shipped all the way from Austria.
I guess it's fascinating to me, as somebody that has never visited Utah before, that there's so much culture from around the world in such a place that, geographically speaking, looks so isolated. How does that, I guess, influence what you see, what you live, how you go about these traditions, these, I guess, life experiences as a student?
Yeah, so we do have students from all over the world, and I will just say that SU is, first of all, a very safe place. And many international students, particularly parents, that it's important to them.
Right.
The types of crimes that we have are really petty crimes. We don't have shootings, we don't have anything like that. But what is really special about Southern Utah University is we are a little bit removed from mega cities. But we have incredible diversity,
Yeah.
and our students come from every major continent in the world. We
Yeah.
have South American, European, African, Asian students.
And we ran into a couple that is visiting the university, and they were going through a campus tour. Something, by the way, that's so remarkable, right? Having staff and students dedicated to just showcase your school to visiting parents, visiting students. But you mentioned how they have an opportunity of studying abroad, right? Having the opportunity of going from Utah as a U.S. citizen to another country. Does that often happen? Is that something that a lot of students are looking into?
Yeah, many students want to have a global experience. As a university, it is very important to us that we create an environment that creates global opportunities. We call it globalization. And so we want our American students to, at the very least, get to know international students, because it really opens up your world. So we hope that roommates or classmates or students studying together will have opportunities to get to know students.
Right. So the push to make everyone international is there. You're pushing U.S. citizens to go abroad and come back with a different perspective, maybe broaden their knowledge of the world. How do you also try to accomplish that on campus? You mentioned how you try to pair international students with national students, but what other tactics, what other events, what other things come to mind when you try to do that on campus?
Aaron, that's a great question. Every month we have multiple events where we highlight a different nationality or culture, and these are incredibly well attended, and we engage our international students from those respective countries in sharing that, because we all have pride in where we're from and we love to share it. And so we have funds available to make this an activity special and meaningful.
I guess as an international student, being able to almost broadcast your culture, share that with other classmates, has to make them feel quite proud and also, seen, right?
Yeah, I think they feel valued at the university, because we truly do. Faculty often comment that when they are in a classroom with students from 5 different countries, the discussion is so rich, and it even helps the curriculum be a little bit more global and a little bit more relevant for the future that all of our students will.
So, we've gone over different topics. We've talked about on-campus events. We've talked about internal. We've talked about how to grow not only as a student in the classroom but also out. We've talked even about job opportunities upon graduation. Now, I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at the viewer, and I guess I pose the question: what would you say is the perfect type of student that would just naturally click on this campus, that would just thrive right at Utah on campus and enjoy this beautiful location, wonderful people, and amazing classes?
Yeah, I think that a student that is interested and open to trying new things, that maybe has a spirit of adventure. We want to help students take calculated and smart risks that help them grow. If you're looking to have a transformational experience, Southern Utah may be a wonderful fit for you.
I think that sums up, everything we've talked about, transforming you as a student. So if you're interested to transform yourself, if you're interested to grow, mature, take on responsibilities, start a club, be involved in student leadership, feel free to check out our description. You'll have a link to our online free consultation call where we can discover and analyze if you're the right fit, how to make it happen, how to get you on this beautiful campus. So please, thank you very much, Stephen, for your time. Go to that description, follow the link, fill out the information, and get that journey started.
Thanks.
All right, guys, see you in the next one.